Tonight I'm going to be making a version of the Mississippi roast, Mississippi chicken, Mississippi meatballs, loosely based on the recipe I saw by Mississippi Queen. And so I'm not quite doing as much. So this is about 19 ounces of meatballs. These are just some chicken meatballs I got from Sam's. Put these down in my pan. All right, and then her recipe called for a can of beef consomme, which I do not have. So I'm going to be using a can of the French onion. Put that over. And she called for a package of au jus. I'm going to use about half of this pack. Save the other pack out of the half for later. It's about half. Alrighty. And then she used 3 tablespoons of ranch. I'm going to use about a tablespoon and a half of ranch, which is probably half of this lid. Doesn't have to be precise, as Mississippi Queen says. It's your recipe. You make it how you want to make it. And then she used some beef broth, which I also do not have, but I do have some better than bouillon. I'm going to make probably a cup. Let me do that real quick. All right, so I did a teaspoon of the better than bouillon, and I just used my soup can, filled it up with water, pour that in there. And then finally, she used some pepperoncinis, peppers. My husband's not real big on spicy, so I'm not going to use a tremendous amount. Do a little of the juice. And I'm going to go in here and get some of the peppers. But you have to put the peppers in because, in my opinion, that's kind of what makes it the Mississippi roast. That's enough. And then she used half a stick of butter, or she said a half stick of butter. I'm going to use half a stick of butter because you can never have too much butter. Now, she cooked this in the crock pot. I just have mine. I'm going to do it on the stove because I'm already home for the night. I'm just going to cut this on low and let it cook low and slow. I mean, the meatballs are already done, so really you're just doing it all, getting it all mixed together. All right, so this has been cooking probably about 30 minutes, and like I said, it's really already done. But what I did do is I took a little bit of flour, not a whole lot, not quite a quarter cup, and I mixed it with a little bit of the hot liquid separately. And then I stir that up really well, and then I put it back over in my pan, and I'm going to cook it for a little while longer for 2. 1, to cook the flour, but 2, to thicken it up so it's a little bit more like a gravy and not so runny, because I've made a pot of rice, and this is what we're going to have for supper tonight. All right, so I'm going to do a taste test before we have supper, just to make sure it's safe. It's going to be really hot. That's really, really good. And these were just the pre-made meatballs that I got from Sam's. You can use any kind of meatball because it just really takes on the flavor. Put that again because that's going to burn my mouth. Okay, I had to cut that down just a little bit. It's really good, really quick. You don't have a lot of time to cook. Get you some pre-made frozen meatballs or make your own meatballs. Pop them in with the stuff for the Mississippi roast. Get you some rice or mashed potatoes. You got a quick meal, and you didn't have to do takeout, and you didn't have to heat the oven. I'll put the recipe down in the comments.